CPO here, and I'm with my buddy David Bowie, and I'm at his house in southern Ohio. I'm on my way out to Moab via Colorado. We're here talking guns and Jeeps. So turns out, many of you may not know this, but David Bowie is a fairly well-known pistol smith. He does custom gun work on polymer pistols. And so if you want to see more about that, I did another video for my other channel, Everything CPO. So go check that out. We'll show you some of the things he did on my Glock. We talked a little bit about RMR and optics, and some of the custom work you do and why, some training tips, all kinds of interesting little tidbits in that video. That's a different video though. This video, we're going through the Jeeps. He's got 1, 2, 3 awesome Jeeps. And we're not talking like just like Jeeps. Like he's got Jeeps. Like there's a small
Jeeps.
Yeah, Jeeps. It's raining outside. It's not a great day, but thankfully he's got a nice big garage. So we're just gonna sort of make use of the room that we've got and the time that we've got, and let's check out the Jeeps. So you have an LJ Rubicon, you have a JK, and then you have Lego Set JK, which is the big brother of all the Jeeps, right? So we'll show you all of those, and let's start here with the LJ. All right, so this one even comes with an interesting story. I was looking at your license plate. Your license plate says, "Great find," and after hearing the story of how you landed this thing, I believe that to be true.
Oh yeah, this is one I've been looking for a long time, but it's like, if any of you know LJs, let alone an LJ Rubicon, they're few and far between, and they're even fewer and far between in good shape and at a reasonable price. So I got lucky. I was actually driving up the street past a dealership that's in my area, and this is sitting there, and it's facing straight at the road, and all I see is front. It's a TJ. Looked like a nice little TJ. So I thought, well, I'm gonna go look at it and let the Jeep Club guys know, who I'm a member of, Mid-Ohio Jeepers organization, let them know that there's a nice TJ up the road. I drive around the corner, see Rubicon, I'm like, okay, maybe it's my Rubicon TJ now. And then I see it was an LJ, and I was almost sick, because I'm like, now I know there's an LJ 2 miles up the street from me that I can't afford to buy, because these things, especially in our area in southern Ohio, you find a rust-free Rubicon, it's 19, 20 grand, because Ohio's not known for rust-free stuff. And so I got to looking at it, and it was in beautiful shape, lifted the hood up, everything. There's nobody at the dealership on a Sunday, so I was left alone. It was beautiful. I'm like, now there's a Jeep I can't afford, and I got to live with it right up the street. So I get home, we look it up, they're asking a ridiculously low price. So I'm thinking something's wrong, or they don't know what they have. And I'm hoping it's the they don't know what they have part. So Monday morning, I'm up there first thing in the morning, look it over, thing test drove beautifully, but started playing with lights. Blinker on the right worked, blinker on the left would not work with the headlights on. And if it did work, the dash lights would flash intermittently with the blinkers. I'm like, oh, electrical problems. So then I realized that also when I push on the brakes, the front parking lights come on. Big electrical problems. And it was all kinds of stuff reflecting all over. So I'm like, oh no. So I went back, offered them a ridiculously low price for it. And of course they said no way. I'm like, oh, come on. So we bantered back and forth for a while, and I told them, I said, you guys know me a little bit. I live 2 miles up the road. You take my price, I'll take the Jeep, but we could have anywhere from a bad ground somewhere to we need a new computer, big money. So I go home depressed that I didn't get my LJ, and then 45 minutes later the sales manager calls and says, you know, we thought about it, you're right, we've only had the Jeep 3 days, we never got a chance to look at it. If you'll give us your price and you'll take the problems you know you got, it's yours. It didn't take long. I was back at the dealership. Bought it, looked, no wiring harnesses, no issues I could find anywhere. So I'm like, I'm not solving the problem. I can't find it. Took it to a mechanic local, it's a friend of mine. He said, yeah, I'll take a look at it. In 20 minutes, he calls me, says it's fixed. Define fixed. Did you put the ground wiring? You still haven't touched your ground wires yet, but all your lights work perfect. Jeep's in great shape, no issues. I'm like, do tell. He said, I noticed everything was from the back of the Jeep was worse and on the driver's side. So I took your lens off the back brake light, looked in, and somebody had put a single element bulb in a dual element contact position. It was shorting your system out. I put a new bulb in it, everything works perfect.
That was it.
I'm like, save me the bulb. That saved me over $1,500. I'm gonna frame it and put it in my garage.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a great find. All right, show us this Jeep, David.
Yeah. When I bought it, it was literally so stock. It's an '06 LJ Rubicon, obviously. When I bought it, it was absolute stock. No suspension change had been made. Even the shocks had never been changed in it. Everything on it was the way it came. Since then, I put a Synergy suspension under. It's a 2-inch Synergy suspension, 2-inch with Synergy control arms. Obviously, it's running JKU wheels, so I've got Synergy spacers and adapters to run the Rubicon JK wheels. Other than that, it's pretty much the way I bought it. The only other thing I've done is the Bartac seat covers, the new soft top, and then I had the entire tub Line-X. There was no way I was going to risk this nice of a Jeep, so I Line-X'd it. So I could play with this for many years. It's not where it's going to be ultimately. It's going to get built, but right now it's fun. It's a good driving, nice Jeep to have, and I've still got too much to finish on Lego set to put a whole ton in this one right now.
Yeah, Lego set, we're going to get into that one. That's got a lot of interesting features. But this one, this is CRUELLA DeVille. There's a story behind that. I don't think we need to tell the story of the name, but clearly a Disney-themed CRUELLA DeVille Jeep. This is your wife's Jeep, right?
This is my wife's Jeep. It's a 2012 JK. She had a '09 JKU and was really, she had a few issues with it. And I think more than the issue, she was really wanting a white two-door. So the issues
you can come up with a lot of issues.
Became a really nice excuse to go to this. And actually it was a good move because the JKU was an '09, it was having some issues. And this is a 12, so we do know we got an actually better engine and transmission in it anyway. But yeah, this is her baby. It's standing on a 2.5-inch Terraflex suspension, Synergy control arms, and Synergy steering. And then the fuel wheels and Nitto 35s. It's nice. And then the CRUELLA thing was not what somebody would expect as far as the name, but it became a cute little nickname of hers at one point that now has translated into the Jeep.
Nice. And Nicole, thank you, by the way, for leaving your Jeep behind so that we could get it on video. So this, a little behind the scenes, David actually took her to work this morning so that she could have the Jeep here for us. So anyway, thank you. All right, so let's pull CRUELLA out and bring in Lego set. All right, so this is your mostly stock mall crawler?
Yeah, that's the one. It's just cut fenders and 30s, nothing serious.
Nice, all right. Where do we even start with this one?
2 years ago. Matter of fact, you're within, I think, 9-10 days now of me just having it 2 years. When I bought it, it was literally box stock one owner Rubicon, which was nice because it had been unmessed with in any way, shape, or form, so I knew what I started with. There the sickness started. Wow, I mean, where do you want to start? It's, I guess where everybody wants to start. It's sitting on a 4.5-inch Synergy suspension, all Synergy steering components, all Synergy in the axles as far as it's got truss and gussets that are all Synergy. And then it also has Synergy's track bar brace and sector shock brace. So all that stuff is Synergy on it, which I've been absolutely thrilled with. As you can tell, the LJ's wearing Synergy, like I said, as well. So that's all in there. And then Nitro 513 gears, obviously to turn these 40s. And this being a 2010, it's got the 3/8, so it needs gears to turn these 40s. G2 chromoly front axle shafts, Nitro chromoly rear axle shafts. That's kind of the basis of what's standing underneath of it anyway. And then obviously it's got the Curry anti-rock, which that's one of the best moves I've made. I've played the games with the Rubicons and stuff like that, and that was worth the move.
Really? You think
Yeah,
so?
way better than the Rubicon setup for a couple reasons. And we can go into those if you want later, or however you want to do that. But it was by and far one of the best setups I've put under it, for stability and flex as well. And then there's some pretty to it, but I've tried to purpose build it. The thought process is I want a wheeler. I want one because it's wheeled. Matter of fact, it was out all day in this messing rain and stuff all day yesterday in one of our Mid-Ohio Jeepers organization trips. And so that's hence the reason it's not clean like the rest of them. But it was the idea is to purpose build it to where I can wheel it and still have a decent looking Jeep. You know, I wanted something that still I can be proud of and look at. And it was trying to find a balance between it looks good and when I start to beat it up, it won't look horrible. So there was a little bit of mixtures of that. So one of the first things I did, I started to make sure I armored it up. So I got oil pan skids under it, I got an evap skid under it, and they're the basic skids right now. Sitting on a 4.5, and with Synergy you're probably sitting close to 5 inches on 40s. There's not a whole lot of stuff beating up my undercarriage here. But one of the first things I've done was that, took care of, and then I took care of my rocker rail stuff to make sure I had protection for my rockers, and then obviously the rock sliders, which for here in Ohio aren't so much rock sliders as they are tree sliders. But for some of the places we go in Kentucky and over in Indiana, they've taken some rock beating, and of course the beat locks, that's just a given when you start moving up. So they're ATX, they're the Chamber Pro. The slab is probably the more common popular one, but the backspacing setup I wanted, the Chamber Pro done a better job for me. I needed something, I wanted a really wide stance. One, because I'm high, so I wanted the stability of some of the width, and there was part of the aesthetic. I like that wide stance. And so until I'm able to go with full width axles, we had to go the next best route. So what I've done with the Chamber Pros, it allowed me to run, it's a 406 backspacing, which is kind of deep, but let me run an 1 3/4 spacer and give me good width. If I'd have went normal, like the normal, I think it's the slab is 350. Now there's no way to space it out without getting crazy wide.
Let's take a look at that width. I'll stand in the rain for you guys. It does have a nice wide track to it.
Which rarely has its detractors. There's occasion, like matter of fact, this week we had to take a bypass. We had trees over one, and everybody fit between a set of trees but me, and I literally had to climb the tree on one side, drop through it on the rails, and then climb the tree on the back side and drop through. So usually width is good. Every now and then on a higher trail it can be a little wide, but the stability is phenomenal, so it's well worth it. Yeah, and I've done as much on as I can do. I mean, anything that my capabilities or stretching my capabilities let me do. But like, I don't weld gussets. If I don't JB weld, I don't weld. So that's the way that goes. Gears, no way I'm touching gears, things like that. So a lot of the suspension work. Company in Fairfield, Ohio, All Terrain Outfitters, done a lot of my work. They've taken good care of me. Really well-known company in the industry to the point that Synergy's worked with them some. So good company. These guys have done an awesome job on this Jeep. The Jeep will outwheel me. The Jeep is older than I am in years, and it will do, I don't know its capabilities yet, you know, and they've done a great job of helping me make sure I put the right stuff in the right places.
Hey, so I opened up by mentioning the fact that you were Pistol Smith.
Right.
There is one thing interesting. Do you mind, can we pull these guys over into your shop? I want to show them one of the things that you've done to one of the pistols recently. Actually, this is on your pistol. Show us your little homage to the Jeepers.
Sure. We'll head to the shop and we'll pick that up. This just happens to be a Jeep Glock 26. Nice. But nobody knew that Jeep made a Glock 26. But yeah, this is something that it started for a friend of mine. I was building a custom pistol for him, and diehard Jeeper. Matter of fact, he's been a student of mine for years, and he was into pistols. I didn't even know he was into Jeeping. And turns out he was. In the last pistol we had me build, we done a little bit of a Jeep theme. So the first one got done for him, and I couldn't be without it. So now I've got one.
Nice. So yeah, if you want a custom cut Jeep front cocking serrations, this is the guy to talk to. Bowie Tactical Concepts. So anyway, guys, Oh, it's so sad it's raining outside. But look, what a great place to work. We can sit here in your little shop and stare at your Jeep all day.
Okay, you can't beat it.
That's cheating. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.